So behavioural interview questions. We did a video in the past around what is a behavioural interview question and using STAR, situation, task, action and result to answer that behavioural interview question. But the feedback is, what are some examples of behavioural interview questions? What are we going to get asked? So how do we prepare for them? So the preparation is drawing on your existing work experience. That's the best. If you don't have existing work experience, it becomes difficult. So anywhere where you've been paid money, whether it's working in an accounting firm, working in a call center, working in a McDonald's, working as a labourer or whatever it is, somewhere that we work. So think about all the situations that you found yourself in then. The type of questions we like to ask and we most commonly see are based around these three things. One, customer service. Tell me about a time when a customer made an unreasonable demand on you. The next one might be around teamwork. So tell me about a time that you worked in a team and something you have specifically done has helped turn that good team result to a great team result. And the other one's around time management. So tell me about a time when you've had to work under pressure and you've needed to prioritize. Now in the last video we did an example around an unreasonable customer. So let's do an example around tell me about a time when you worked in a team and something you've done has helped turn that good team result to a great team result. Now remember, as soon as you start making things up or imagining things or saying sometimes we do things around here, that's when you fail and that's when we know that you're making it up. So just make sure that you're pulling on some examples around that specifically. So an example of somebody who, say, worked in Woolworths as a night packer. Tell me about a time you worked in a team and you've helped turn a good team result to a great team result. So that example is, the situation was we got pallets of capsicum would come in overnight and they would pack them in the back just before the banana pallet came in, which packed in front of the capsicum pallet. What was happening is we'd had to double handle the capsicums to get around the bananas, for an example. So that's specific enough. We've talked about capsicums and bananas and the double handling. You don't need to go into too much more detail. Anyone listening is going to get that. Okay, so that was the situation. So the task and the action that you've taken on board was to say, okay, well, I've rethought about that. And if we actually get the bananas to be, the pallet to be put next to the capsicums, and that's going to save us double handling. We'll get all the capsicums and the bananas onto the shelves in half the time, and then enabling sort of everybody to move on to the next thing. So that was a great idea. So what I did was I worked out a way to free up some space on the side of that pallet so that when the delivery came in, there was no double handling, they could drop the pallet there. I showed the team what we were going to do. I talked to the delivery crew, they enabled that. Now that happens every single night and we save time in that process. So there's an example of where the situation is obvious. Okay, there was double handling and that was sort of a pain point. You've come up with an idea that was simple and easy to implement, and you'd be able to sell it to the team. You implemented it, it worked, and now that's the standard into the future. So you can think of an example around that, maybe when you're working in a call center or managing your lunch breaks, or working in a logistical situation like that. Anywhere where you've been able to say there's an issue that we could solve by re-engineering the situation or putting a different idea together, or being able to implement some ideas over and above what was expected of you. I hope that's a good example of teamwork, but they're the sort of questions you're going to get, and I hope you do well.